Everyone already knows that Luffy has many enemies. However, all these enemies have one thing in common. They were all kicked by him. But after Luffy sent them flying, what happened to each of them? Where are these pirates and marines now after facing Luffy? Let's find out the current status of each of these villains. Alvida Shi was the first villain Luffy ever faced. Initially, she was introduced as an overweight and very grumpy villain. But Luffy, who doesn't care about anything, easily defeated her with a single punch. After that, she ate the Sub Subanomi, the Slip Slip fruit, which made her lose all her body fat. Alvida teamed up with Buggy to defeat Luffy, and in Logtown, they managed to immobilize him. They were really going to finish off Luffy right there, but luckily, Dragon saved his son before he could die. Today, we can even say she is a Yonko commander of a guy we'll talk about. Morgan, he was introduced as a very evil and cruel marine captain, but Luffy and Zoro managed to defeat him, leading the marines to imprison their own officer for being too cruel to civilians. After being captured, he was being escorted by Garp's crew, along with Helmeppo and Kobe, who were just starting their lives as marines. However, Morgan used Helmeppo, his own son, as a hostage and managed to escape. Since then, no one knows what happened to him. He's probably in some village out there, stealing and committing atrocities, which is what he does best. Buggy, our dear Buggy the Clown, has had the most dramatic turnaround in the world of One Piece. When he first met Luffy back in the 3rd episode of the anime, he was just a feared pirate of the East Blue. At that time, he was causing a lot of trouble on the island of Orange Town. But thanks to the teamwork of Nami and Luffy, the clown was sent flying as far away as possible. He survived and kept trying to take down Luffy, but always failed. However, after years of numerous achievements that gained worldwide relevance, he became one of the most influential pirates in the world. First, he became a Shichibukai, then he became a Yonko after supposedly founding the Cross Guild, an organization that has Dracula Mihawk and Crocodile as its major allies. In other words, Buggy is proving that it is possible to rise from the bottom to the top. Captain Kuro previously, he was the captain of a pirate ship, and his elegant appearance and cold smile hid his true malicious intentions. Kuro, in search of wealth and power, devised a nefarious plan to abandon his pirate life and assume a new identity as the butler of Kaya, a young heiress from a wealthy family. Under this facade, he intended to inherit the young woman's fortune and become a respected man in society. But his plot was uncovered by Luffy and his friends, who were determined to protect Kaya. After an intense and thrilling battle, Luffy finally defeated Kuro, thwarting his evil plans. With his dream shattered, Kuro disappeared from sight. Despite his apparent defeat, rumors began to circulate about Kuro resurfacing as a pirate. Some say he returned to a life of plundering and terror, seeking revenge against Luffy and those who stopped him. However, his current whereabouts are unknown, and the last time we saw him was in the Logtown arc, where he is shown reacting to Luffy's 30 million bounty. Don Krieg. The feared pirate of the Krieg Pirates fleet was an antagonist who faced Luffy and his crew during the Bharati saga. He only wanted one thing, to take over the legendary floating restaurant Bharati. Driven by his quest for high-quality food, Don Krieg believed that Bharati was the perfect place to satisfy his demanding palate. His true goal was to use the restaurant as a base to conquer the Grand Line, the legendary pirate route, and establish himself as a powerful emperor of the seas. Determined to achieve his objectives, Don Krieg led his fleet and attacked Bharati with overwhelming force. However, thanks to the intervention of Luffy and his allies, his plan was thwarted, and he suffered a devastating defeat. After the battle, his first mate, Gin, rescued him and took him away, promising that one day he would return. Since then, Don Krieg has not been seen in action. His absence intrigued many One Piece fans, sparking speculations about his fate and future. But recently, Don Krieg was shown, reacting to revelations from Vegapunk. Don Krieg was in Hachinosu, Blackbeard's territory, along with Gin and Pearl, who are his subordinates. Arlong, his ambition was clear. He wanted to create a world where fishmen ruled and humans were subjugated. Arlong established his dominion in Kokoyashi village, an island in the East Blue, where he oppressed and extorted the human inhabitants. He imposed high tributes and lived in luxury while cruelly exploiting those who could not pay. His belief in the superiority of fishmen fueled his insatiable desire for power and control. But Arlong met his fate when Luffy and his companions arrived on the island. Determined to free the inhabitants from Arlong's tyranny, Luffy confronted the villain in an epic battle. With his rubber fists, he defeated Arlong, putting an end to his oppressive reign. After his defeat, Arlong was captured and taken to Impel Down, one of the most notorious and impenetrable prison facilities in the world of One Piece. There, he was incarcerated and remains to this day, serving his sentence for the crimes he committed. Smoker? He first appeared in Logtown as just a marine captain. He was the first character to demonstrate such a significant superiority over Luffy. This was all due to his incredible Logia-type Akuma no Mi, which makes characters who are not Haki users have great difficulties against him. Today, 2 years later, he has become even stronger, reaching the rank of Vice Admiral in the Marines. He always tries to capture Luffy, as seen in the Punk Hazard arc, where he tracked down Luffy to find him. However, he failed to catch the Straw Hat and miserably failed his mission. Wapol, the eccentric ex-king of the Drum Kingdom, had quite a dubious nature. He was known for being selfish, greedy, and completely unconcerned with the well-being of his people. His only goal was to satisfy his own desires and enrich himself at the expense of others. When Luffy and his friends arrived at the Drum Kingdom, Wapol spared no effort to expel them and maintain his control over the kingdom. He didn't care about the citizens' health and didn't hesitate to use his authority to silence anyone who opposed him. However, Wapol met his end when he faced Luffy in a battle. Luffy's powerful punch sent Wapol flying, defeating him and removing him from the throne. After his defeat, Wapol temporarily disappeared from everyone's sight. But surprisingly, sometime later, Wapol reappeared in a new line of business. He began using his Akuma no Mi powers to manufacture toys, capitalizing on his ability to transform parts of his body into metal. He founded his own toy company and married Cinderella, a mysterious woman who accompanied him in his new ventures. 2 years passed, and Wapol received an unexpected gift. The world nobles, in their strange wisdom, granted Wapol his own kingdom. Now he reigns as the king of the Black Drum Kingdom, a title that surely fills him with pride and power. Crocodile. Crocodile caused a lot of trouble in his quest for the ancient weapon Pluton. This guy was so ambitious that he was willing to plunge the entire kingdom into chaos just to get what he wanted. But then Luffy came along, ready to save the day. In an incredible fight, Luffy put an end to Crocodile's ambitions and sent him straight to Impel Down prison. It seemed that justice had finally been served. But you see, Crocodile is not the type to be easily defeated. Shortly after, he managed to escape from prison with the help of none other than Luffy himself. That's right, Luffy was there trying to save his brother and ended up freeing the treacherous Crocodile too. Crazy things happen in the world of pirates. After breaking out of prison, Crocodile returned to piracy with full force. He didn't let it go and founded the Cross Guild, along with Buggy the Clown and Mihawk the skilled swordsman. This sinister partnership made Crocodile one of the most dangerous pirates in the world. Enel, this guy had a crazy passion for travel and was determined to uncover the secrets of the world. But then Luffy came along and defeated Enel. It was a breathtaking, electrifying battle, but in the end, Luffy emerged victorious. However, Enel didn't give up easily. He had a trick up his sleeve, or rather, a spaceship. He used his ship to leave Earth and ended up on the moon. Yes, you heard right. He went to the moon. On the moon, Enel discovered ancient ruins, super advanced technology, and even robotic beings. He managed to power these robots using his own electrical energy and is still uncovering all the mysteries surrounding the place. Imagine that. So, while Luffy continued his adventures on the sea, Enel was exploring the moon and unraveling its mysteries. He really took his curiosity and adventurous spirit to a new level. Now, we don't know exactly what Enel is up to on the moon, but he's definitely involved in big things. Just imagine when the god of Skypiea returns, Aokiji. He crossed paths with the Straw Hats at Long Ring Longland to check if Robin had really joined the crew. And it wasn't a friendly visit. He gave everyone a beating, leaving the Straw Hats with a notable defeat. Years after that chilling encounter, Aokiji was nominated to become Fleet Admiral. But then came Akainu, and the two fought fiercely for the title. Aokiji ended up losing this battle and, frustrated, left the Marines. He became a wanderer in this vast world. But the story doesn't end there. Shortly after, Aokiji encountered the Blackbeard pirates in a tavern. They spent hours talking, and guess what happened? Aokiji decided to join their crew. Yes, you heard right. He joined the crew of the fearsome Blackbeard. He even fought against Garp, managing to capture him with the help of his new allies, Rob Lucci. The CP9 agent faced Luffy in an epic battle at Eni's lobby. It was an intense fight, the kind that makes the ground tremble, but in the end, Luffy emerged victorious. However, the story doesn't end there. Lucci didn't admit defeat and decided to intensify his training. He dedicated himself entirely, eventually mastering both types of haki and awakening the full power of his Akuma no Mi. With his new abilities, Lucci earned a promotion and was elevated from CP9 to CP0, an even more powerful and secret elite unit. Now, he is one of the top agents of the world government, tasked with extremely dangerous and confidential missions. He is also amidst the chaos at Egghead, trying to help the world government in the Egghead mission, Moria. The Shadow Man had his fate sealed after facing Luffy in the thriller bark ship Colosseum. It was an epic battle, complete with ghosts, zombies, and a lot of chaos. In the end, Luffy emerged victorious. Although Moria survived the battle, life wasn't easy for him afterward. He continued as one of the Shichibukai, but the government realized he wasn't that strong and decided to act. Yes, they stripped him of his Shichibukai title. 2 years passed, and Moria still hadn't found his path. Then, he had the idea to go to Blackbeard's island to rescue his captured subordinate. Seemed like a good idea, right? But things didn't go as planned. In the end, Moria was the one who got captured. Yes, he fell into Blackbeard's hands and ended up imprisoned. At the time of recording, Perona is on Blackbeard's island attempting to rescue him. Would you like to see him causing trouble for the Straw Hats again? Kuma. This guy put all the Straw Hats in trouble at Sabaody. He defeated them and sent them to different locations. But hold on, he did it for a good reason. He wanted to save them. Kuma was willing to sacrifice his own freedom and become a servant of the Tenryubito, the evil nobility in Mariageoise, in exchange for protecting Luffy and his crew. He used his teleportation abilities to separate them and keep them safe. Unfortunately, things didn't go well for Kuma. His human consciousness was replaced by that of a robot, making him a true servant of the Tenryubito. He lost his identity and free will, being controlled by those he once despised. Currently, he was rescued by Sabo and taken to the Revolutionary Army's base. However, since his mind is controlled by the government, he returned to Mariageoise but flew to Egghead to protect his daughter Bonnie from the Gorosei's attack. Hody Jones. Hody Jones had an ambitious plan to take over the island and establish a world empire where the fishmen would be superior to humans. But then Luffy came along, always ready to defend justice, and defeated Hody once and for all. It was an intense battle, full of punches and kicks that shook the foundations. In the end, Hody was defeated. But you know what's even more interesting? After his defeat, Hody was imprisoned by his own fellow fishmen. Yes, those he wanted to dominate. And he's still there today, rotting behind bars. The worst part is that he used a lot of drugs to strengthen his body. As you can see, he and his companions are completely worn out because of these drugs. Caesar Clown, he was creating weapons and artificial devil fruits for Kaidou and Doflamingo. But his luck changed when he faced Luffy in Punk Hazard and was defeated. From there, this guy just kept bouncing around everywhere. First, he ended up in Dressrosa, where he got involved in more trouble and became a hostage in the hands of the Straw Hats. Then, he made an appearance in Zoo, another island full of problems. But Caesar's journey didn't end there. He crossed paths again with Germa 66. This group, led by the Vinsmokes, was no joke, and seemed to have their own plans for the poor scientist, Doflamingo. Doflamingo just wants to watch the world burn. His plans were thwarted when Luffy and his companions defeated him once and for all. The fate that awaited him after his defeat couldn't have been worse. He was sent to level 6 of Impel Down Prison. There, Doflamingo began to rot in a cell, kept under strict security. This level of the prison is reserved for the most dangerous and notorious criminals, and Doflamingo definitely fit that category. Despite his ambition to dominate the world and spread chaos, he was now just another prisoner, Unable to carry out his evil plans, the circus he so desired to see burn had turned against him. Katakuri, the powerful rival of Luffy in the whole Cake Island arc, had an interesting trajectory after his defeat. Despite being defeated by Luffy, he took on the responsibility of protecting the kingdom while his mother and siblings went to Wano, seeking revenge against the Straw Hats. While fulfilling his role as protector, Katakuri faced some unexpected challenges. He fought the Germa 66, who were trying to escape the clutches of the dangerous Big Mom. This battle was intense, and Katakuri put his skills to use once again to protect his territory. Additionally, he also crossed paths with the Blackbeard pirates. This infamous crew went to Whole Cake and kidnapped his sister, Pudding, bringing more problems and complications to Katakuri's life. We can't deny that his determination and loyalty to his family are admirable. Kaidou. This powerful antagonist and one of the 4 emperors proved to be the greatest thorn in the side of Luffy and his crew. With overwhelming strength, he defeated Luffy on multiple occasions, showing himself to be the most formidable enemy the Straw Hats had ever faced. However, Kaidou's story took a surprising turn. During the intense battle against Luffy, he ended up facing the Nika form, the sun god of our dear Straw Hat. In this final confrontation, Kaidou was defeated and upon falling from the island, met his fate in the depths of a massive amount of lava. Supposedly, this encounter with the lava resulted in Kaidou's death, putting an end to his tyranny and cruelty. But as in One Piece, not everything is as it seems. It's important to remember that the death of powerful characters is often questionable, so there's still room for surprises and twists in Kaidou's story. Did he really meet his end in the lava? Or is there a possibility of his return, defying expectations and creating more tension in the world of pirates? All of them, or rather almost all, have one thing in common. They were beaten by Luffy. If you're a true fan of Luffy and One Piece, know that here on this channel, we are 100% focused on One Piece. If you love this wonderful work, just subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to receive other One Piece videos. On the screen, there are 2 more videos. Just click and watch. I'll see you in the next video.